You know, everyone, when we think about the children of Israel and dealing with their sin, God lays out for them what we call today the Ten Commandments. He knew that their disobedience was there, and He had an answer for them. And He gave them to Moses, and Moses put them on tablets, or God put them on tablets with His finger. He wrote on them and gave them to Moses, and Moses brought them to the people. Let's talk about those real quickly, because when we talk about God writing the laws, remember, were to show us that we could not do it without Him. A man's heart is desperately wicked above all things, and God was first of all setting the standard, and then as we come to the new covenant, He writes those same laws in our hearts, and we begin to live out of a relationship with God where He helps us to fulfill them. It's not just obey the rules or you're out. It's let me help you live what John 10:10 says, the abundant life. A life where you can be at peace in your own heart, you can be at peace with God, and you can learn to be at peace with other people. Now this is important because when we go to the Ten Commandments, He lays out for us then the priorities, or let me say it this way, He sets the standard. And so let's talk about that and how we can apply those to our daily life today. It's an ancient Hebrew record of God speaking, but they were never more relevant than today in our culture. The first one is, you shall have no other gods before me. Now think about it for a moment. No other gods before me. We think of gods as a totem pole, or we think some type of a moon, a star, a gold image, but literally an idol is anything that becomes more important to you than God. Now think about that for a moment. For some of you, it's your spouse. For some of you, it's your car. For some of you, it's a house. For some of you, it's your children. What do you place before God? And God's saying, listen, it's gone on too long. And those things, as much as you love them, will not satisfy your heart. And they'll take you away from the true and living God. But God says, listen, I want you to enjoy life and have life more abundantly, but I need you to set your priorities. And the priority of the Ten Commandments, the first commandment, is to have no other gods before Him. So let's do an inventory. Let's find out what things, if you can be honest with yourself, what things do you go on about? What do you talk about? What do you give to? What do you put your time, your energy, your effort, and your money? When you begin to evaluate those things, you'll find out that either God's number one, or that God's somewhere down the list and maybe even barely makes the list. Let's be honest. Let's go back and apply this ancient Hebrew record of God speaking to His people back in the day and show you how important it is today to keep those standards lived out in your own life.